Hey Mo, we need to get an intro down for this channel, you know.
Yeah, but what are you thinking, Leigh?
Why don't I rap over the top of it?
Don't be ridiculous. You sound like a northern M&M.
Look, listen to me. Yo, yo, yo. The Munch Brunch in the house, man.
Absolutely not.
Right, what you got in mind?
Let's just keep it simple.
I'm Leigh.
I'm Aim.
We're the Munch Brunch.
Hi everyone and welcome back to another mukbang with Aim and Leigh. We are the Munch Brunch UK. Leigh, tell them what we have on the menu today.
I would, Aim. I've lost track of what we ordered.
Leigh just ordered a ton of things here.
We got a very small pizza. I didn't realise how big 6-inch ones are.
No, I'm not joking, you guys. It's the world's smallest pizza. But I think that's quite enough, actually.
£6 though. £6. I mean,
That's
it looks
ridiculous.
tasty, to be fair. We've got battered chips.
Chicken
West
tikka
Midlands based battered chips. Yeah, what I said, chicken tikka burger.
Kebab.
And doner kebab.
And there's some kebab meat here on the side.
A pot of gravy, I don't know if I mentioned that. And
Right there.
Diet Coke to drink. Oh, we did it. It's the weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday. Woohoo!
I haven't had these before, but Leigh had it last time and it smelled amazing and I just thought, okay.
Yeah, it is tasty. I also had the chicken tikka on a kebab the last time. I had like a mixed meat kebab.
Yeah, you did.
And that was also very nice.
Leigh's going to have to open the drinks.
Do you want your hot sauce?
Yes,
Have your hot sauce. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. It was a
Let's
debate.
get a piece.
Like, do we do KFC or do we do this?
Let's show you this chicken, guys. Oh my god.
And we actually let you lot pick this time. I put a little poll on the channel, like, what should we have? Because we've had pretty much every local takeaway going on this channel so far. Like, different varieties, from Indian to Chinese to pizza, kebabs, McDonald's, all that usual stuff. And we've run out of options. So I said, what should we do? And this narrowly won. You said fish and chips or kebab and chips, so I went with kebab and chips.
I personally think my birthday mukbang is going to do really well.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is just yet, though.
What, they won't know what it is.
No, they'll only know, obviously, when we put it out.
Yeah, it's going to be a secret.
And that's not your traditional.
5 past this, obviously your side.
Uh-uh.
You know, the back there.
Let's have a
I'm
taste now.
hiding a food back
No,
there.
I'm going to taste it now because you don't want cold pizza.
It's the only food I can eat reheated is takeaway food anyways. Ooh, that would look good as a fun. Good quality, I'm hoping so.
Man.
£6 bloody pound for this mini
Wait a minute.
pizza.
I've got a... That's lush.
Now there's big old juicy kebab back here, which is starting to split, which is a pain in the arse.
I hate it when that happens.
Oh no. The ketchup ain't even open. The lid is still on underneath. You horrible git. I would say go and check out the other channel to see how we made this, but we didn't make it.
We did. We went out and caught the fish, even though there's no fish.
Oh yeah, we went to the seaside in the last hour and caught a fish. And
There's no fish.
it's your straw rain. It's going to bugger up the green screen.
But it's
There
not
we go.
green.
Hey?
It's not green.
Alright then, smart
No,
ass.
I know what you're doing because that's bugging you in it. That tiny little bit of plastic.
It will make it blurry, I know that because it happens. What we all been up to on this lovely...
What have you all been up to, Leigh?
This is a large doner kebab. Normally it's like a regular one.
Oh, they must have like a bigger sized pita breads then, or?
When you order on Just Eat, they only give you the option for a larger thing. Oh, shit, shop on there. Sorry, Uber, not Just Eat. We ordered off Uber, and they brought in a Just Eat bag. What the hell that's all about, don't they?
Yeah, that's a bit strange, isn't it, to be fair? Maybe he worked at Uber, Just Eat.
I think just grab whatever bag's closest in the chip shop.
Try your pizza.
I will do,
It'll go whack if you don't.
House down. Ooh, sugar.
That is probably one of the nicest pizzas I've had.
The do-do. I said do-do. Oh. They do good pizzas that are chip shop, like this one here. We never really get the bigger ones, but for a small pizza, it always looks good, very tasty.
What's that?
$5.99 for like a create your own. So we've got Cajun chicken, no, chicken tikka and plain chicken, sweet corn cheese.
Wait for it. So nice.
Wow.
That is so good pizza. You don't expect it from the chip shop. We usually get it from a really good place, don't get me wrong. What would you rate that at?
I'd say compared to our one, well, it's only like one piece I've had. I'd give that like a, well, not a pizza connoisseur, but in what I've had in pizza, I'd say it was a good 7 out of 10.
Better than the other one?
Only because they started adding something weird to it.
That's what I think we need to get it from here from now on. They've started adding like really strong herbs.
To like the pizza that we like relied on for the last like 4 years or so. It's like have you ever had that, everyone? You like something,
and they change the recipe.
Greg's did it at one point, and they started adding like really strong pepper to the sausage
that.
rolls. I was like, can't eat them anymore. So why?
Some places still do it. I
don't know. Greg's have stopped it now, but they went through a spell, and with the lady I got talked to like years ago now, I said, are they still the same? Is it pepper? She said, we had so many complaints about it, and I think they just sort of swapped it back to the old recipe.
Honestly, I think one of them is enough. For like just one each of them pizza sizes.
Is it?
Yeah, right. Why? That'd be fine by me.
Alright, I'll give one then.
No, as in just one of those each is, I think, would be plenty.
One slice or one pizza?
That little box each?
Yeah, well that was like £6. You might as well just get like a bigger one and share the bigger one.
But for one person, I'm saying if they were single or on their own, that is so adequate, isn't it, for just one person?
They are quite filling for a small pizza.
That is so nice, though. Honestly, guys, you can't have it though because it's not from your chip shop.
Unless you're in our area, I'm not going to tell you where that is. Do any of you ever notice? And so I'm very odd like this. When I go down to Lidl or any other supermarket in general.
Do you want to know the truth? We don't even really shop at Lidl.
No.
We actually shop at Asda, but Leigh always goes down Lidl.
It's just local for like a loaf of bread or something. But I like watching what people buy. Usually people on their own, usually blokes on their own, they buy the most odd combination of stuff. And this bloke did today. So I'm going to move that gravy over slightly so you see the chips there. This bloke today was in front of me in the queue. Nice bloke. He put the thing there like for my turn. So I said, oh, cheers, mate. And he put his thumb up and stuff. He was buying, what he was planning on making this, I don't know. So he bought 2 pineapples, a sandwich maker, like a sandwich toaster. Like we've got one. Because they sell random stuff, don't they, in Lidl, in that middle aisle. It's like a treasure trove.
Right.
He bought them 2. He bought...
Pineapple, a grill machine.
Yeah. A pack of boxer shorts. I mean, I don't know what he went in for. Was it the pineapple or the boxer shorts?
Might be having grilled pineapple gammon and...
Topped with boxer shorts, yeah. And then on top of... And as well as that, this is the bit that got me. When random people buy like 24 bottles of Coke or whatever it is, and you're seeing... With the trolleys full to the top with Coke.
But you might have been an offer on.
There wasn't an offer on. But he didn't buy Coke. He bought 24 cans of evaporated milk. I was like, who the hell needs that much milk? What's he doing with it? He just makes it on stood there.
He could be a baker, and he might use evaporated milk.
Well, you get it from like a cash and carry.
But he might not have a cash and carry card. I don't mean a baker as in a professional. I mean as in, like in general.
Maybe he does his baking in his boxer shorts whilst making a pineapple grill sandwich.
Maybe. You need to just concentrate on your shopping, because what about if someone, I know on a mukbang channel, is discussing, I was down Lidl today and I saw this guy and he went in and he got like some bread because he says he's convenient to get bread. Can you believe it, everyone?
That's stupid, don't I? I'm on about people who buy in bulk.
Don't you think it was crazy how you went in and bought a Lidl jumper? Hey, that was something to talk about.
That's my Christmas jumper. You see that on our thumbnails over Christmas.
That was so convenient. Not convenient. Right for you to buy.
Yeah. Whew, sorry.
I kind of didn't think about something.
What's that? Dipping your pizza in gravy?
No. This burger thing that I've got. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm coming on to right now. That's big to put in your mouth, innit?
Mm-hmm. I was wondering how you was going to manoeuvre it from the box to your gob.
Well, I'm not. I'm going to pick the meat out with my fork. Like that.
When I had it last time, I had to eat the spare meat around
Well,
it.
that's what I was going to get.
And then pick it up when there's a little bit less meat in there.
Oh man, got some.
No.
So nice.
I know I had it the other, about 3 weeks ago. It was tasty. Anyway, today's title, guys, of the video, you will notice, is Do We Take Death Too Seriously? And I'm not talking about people who've hard of hearing. I'm like deaf as in croaking it.
You need to explain why you're saying that.
Yeah,
Leigh can't pronounce his T.
Well, that wasn't what I meant.
Deaf. You say deaf.
Deaf.
You can't say deaf.
Deaf.
You do say deaf.
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 Deaf is deaf.
I thought you genuinely.
What about deaf people, like people who can't hear?
No, I thought you was addressing the fact that you say deaf for both deaf and deaf.
I was just saying you might be wondering why we say do we take death too seriously.
No.
Chip overboard. No,
Yes.
no chip is left behind in this house.
So no, it's drying off on the banks.
So, the title of the video is Do We Take Death Too Seriously in This Country? Or just, I might not put in this country, I don't know yet. Because Aim was flicking through the channels last night and recording stuff whilst I was like on my phone or whatever, looking at football bets.
As ever.
As ever. And Carl Pilkington was on there. If you don't know who he is, he's like a British bloke, English bloke from Manchester. He's got like a travel show. He goes around the world, don't he? Or he has in the past.
You know, for instance sake, if we do something that's kind of cliched, let's say, you know, at New Year's Eve when you all sort of kiss and go, Happy New Year, he'd be the bloke who sort of says, but why do you need to do that? I don't want to do that, so I'm not doing it. So, like, he'll be the one to sort of, when people find kind of happiness in a strange situation, he'll go, what the hell, why? For instance, like when you go to see one of the 7 wonders of the world, he went to Machu Picchu, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
He was like, well, if I can see it from the distance, why do I need to walk all the way there? I've had enough.
Yeah, because how big it is, obviously, what he went to see. It's like, I can see it from where I am. I don't want to walk any further.
So that is my mum. My mum is very much, Amy, you need to see things like, you need to look into things so deeply. Me, I'm just like, but why? Well, I am very much like that in the respect of, I have a mindset like him. I don't have an attitude like him, but I have a mindset like him. Like, why would you find the need to do these things? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's classed as boring or classed as realistic.
No, in some forms you're like that. In other forms, I think I'm a bit more like a bit of a
You're more
miserable
like
git.
You're more like his attitude, whereas I'm more his mindset.
Yeah. So, the episode was about death. He went to a few different countries, seeing how they sort of coped with death or celebrated death in the families with their loved ones, friends, whatever. It got me thinking. So, this morning I watched the whole thing, the episode, it's like an hour long.
Is that the one with the lady?
Yeah, I know what you're on about. And I just took a few notes, because I was going to tell you, because I didn't want to forget about it, what they do in different countries. I was going to ask Ryan's opinion, what would she want that at her funeral or a loved one's funeral? And ask the question, do we take death too seriously in this country? Like he says, Carl Pilkington said, he was on about his dad, and he said his dad must be, I guess his dad's maybe like in his late 60s, 70s. He said his dad's quite a realist when it comes to death, and he says, he had to buy a 10-year passport recently. He said, well, I don't want a 10-year passport. I won't be here to use it in 10 years. Can't I buy one for half price for 5 years? And they're like, no, it has to be 10 years. We don't do a short one. It's like, well, that's just a waste of money. I will not be here in 10 years.
Well, no, that's not technically true if he's in his late 60s.
He was saying it to Carl, though. He said, I won't be around to use it.
He might be, though.
Yes, but in general, like, his dad's quite easy going about it. Oh, he said, look, I've done my time. I'm ready to go. You know.
Kind of like, why do I need a 10-year passport when I don't want one?
Yeah, that's what I just said. So,
I get that.
and I just thought it'd be funny to, like, other people, like Aim, the thought of anyone dying, like, she breaks down.
I can't go.
No. Now, me on the other hand, like, I'm like, okay, well, everyone's going to go one day. Until someone really close to me goes, I might be different. But at the minute, I'm like, okay, my dad's unwell. He will go anyway, whether it's now or in 20 years. Hope to God he lives another 20-odd years, 30 years. But if he goes, then he's going to go. We can't help it. Nothing can be done about it. And same with me, I could drop dead tomorrow.
Yeah. That's some way to view it, I guess. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, I want one of them things that's in Harry Potter. One of them stones.
Which one?
It's like a stone of the resurrection stone.
Oh, right, come back to life.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we should all have one of them each. Put it in the back of your bag. Sleep there till you
yeah,
need
but then
it.
you'd be stuck with some really irritating people in the world. People who maybe deserved not to be around. Like evil people. I mean, not like you mate who stole your bloody lawnmower and didn't return it. I'm like really nasty
Have
people.
you had a lawnmower stolen?
No, but I don't know.
I mean,
We've had a few broken.
Wait a minute. What a thing to choose.
I was
a
thinking
lawnmower. I mean, you can just imagine, can't you? Like, you've got these gang of people thinking, I'm going to go into that shed tonight and I'm going to steal your lawnmower.
Trust me, it's worth a fair bit. I was actually thinking of our whole family when the neighbour comes around with something, he's borrowed something off him and don't return it. I forget what it is now. Anyways.
Not the royal family, as in, it's the programme, guys, not the actual royal family from across the pond.
Yeah, like,
if you was in Canada or something, and they didn't know about the series, you turn around and said, oh yeah, I was just thinking about, the royal family. Someone came around and nicked something and the neighbour had never returned it.
The dad sits there in his vest and pants and farts all the time and you think about Prince Philip.
Yeah. So anyway, I actually really agree with this situation, this conversation, more to the point. How different people treat death. Like, my funeral plans are completely...
Okay, so the first one he goes to, Carl, the first country he goes to is Ghana in Africa. And a lady's died, and his first job, because he helps out like these funerals and stuff, is to help get her ready for the funeral.
Yeah, like the makeup and...
Yeah, that's what he does, yeah.
I think I'm going to watch some of these later. I
You
love
should
them.
do. And in Ghana, they have like a 24-hour, sometimes 48-hour mourning period where there's no coffin. You go along, you visit the dead, the person who's died, but they're stood up or they're in a certain like stance.
As though they're alive, basically.
Yeah. So they do the makeup first, so he helped do that. Bear in mind, he's never done anyone's makeup before. And then they was trying to stand up, which was a big lady. And
She was a fruit seller as well on a market.
Yeah, that was it. She had like a stall. So because they couldn't stand her up, they sat her in a seat behind a stall, like a
As
a
though
market
she was
stall.
like this, so like this. So she was there like that. Behind the stall selling her fruit or whatever. And
People would come in and hand her money.
as though she was still on the market. Because that's like a sign of respect over there. And I suppose in a way that's good because you're celebrating like how there was in real life. That is what I'm such a big believer in. Like, it's a very on the fence conversation, this guy, so no opinions or suggest things that are said here is right or wrong. None whatsoever. So what your beliefs are right for you, what our beliefs are right for us. However, I personally don't want to go and see anybody who's passed away because that would personally for me tip me over the edge. You know when you say go and view the person before, that's not for me at all.
I went to see my great nan, so my granddad who's still with us now, his mum, she passed when I reckon I was about 8. I think so, that's a guess. I went to a funeral, but before that I went to the funeral home and we went into, my mum was like, do you want to see your nan? I was like, go on then. I didn't know much about it then. My nanny's all make-upped up and stuff. I was like, that ain't me nan, she never wore makeup my whole life. Like in the 8 or 9 years I knew her, she'd never wore makeup. So they had her all dressed up and tied up. I was like, that ain't my nan, what are you on about?
I have to like embalm her and stuff now, Leigh. They can't just have her.
And I respect that, So this lady anyway goes to they sit in this position and whatnot, and people can go and visit her for 24 hours in Ghana. At the end of this episode, Carl's idea is he's back in England. He's like, look, we're running out of space. We've all he says we don't need all these dead bodies everywhere, basically around the country and around the world. We'll use up way too much space. And then how they have plaques on benches.
Yeah.
He said, well, we don't need no more benches. I've come up with a better idea. He said you can. He's down on the seafront somewhere. He says, look at this, and there's a big public bin there. Yeah. He put a plaque of this lady with her face on, in loving memory of so and so, on a bin. She lived in Ghana. She's made it to England. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think two things I'm going to touch upon here. One, I've already said, I don't personally like the idea of viewing somebody when they've passed away. Not because I'm necessarily scared, but because I'm a big believer in I'd rather remember them in my head when they was alive rather than passed away. To me, it's just a shell at that point. It's just, you know, that's it. The person's sort of gone. Secondly, and this is probably what Leigh's going to touch upon in a minute, is coffins. I will not be having a wooden coffin box type of thing. If I have to have some form of coffin, which obviously I will, I would have a wicker one and a round one. You know, like I will show. I will not have like that kind of pommy thing, which Carl Pilkington had a coffin made, didn't he?
Yeah, we'll get on to that in a sec. What he did.
But yeah, well, if you want to tell him about that.
No, I was just saying, sorry. The whole idea of the bin now, I think he said, like, he made a point saying, it's a good idea because you need bins in England because there's a lot of litter bugs around. So you buy the bin, you put a plaque of your loved one on there, like, Amy lived here, not in the bin literally, but in the city, between the year she was born and the year she passed away. And now you can use her as a bin. And it's good for, for the public.
Do you know what, though? You are literally going to get more...
What are you eating there, Amy?
Oh.
You got some kebab, mate?
Looks like hair, doesn't it? Yeah. The reason being, guys, about this chicken tikka burger, I'm going to have to add a little bit of mayonnaise to it.
It's a bit dry, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did barbecue sauce or chilli sauce. I think chilli sauce. Yeah, I thought it was a bit dry for you. I mean, put some hot sauce on, but it would be a bit too warm.
No. People use the bins all the time. Don't get me wrong, people sit down on benches, but I don't know. I mean, I've changed my opinion big time. Look at him, the message. I've changed my opinion on this big time, and I think as well, God, there's so much to say on this matter in the respect that, one, I've already said about the coffin. I want like a white wicker coffin. As less pressure as possible on the rest of my family. I am going for a direct cremation. I'm not having a funeral. I will not have a funeral. I don't believe in them. I will, however, I suppose, have some sort of blessing of some sort.
But you can make it fun now. I know you want a wicker basket.
Wicker
coffin. We could do what they did in Ghana again. Carl Pilkington, because he's got a missus. What's she called?
Susan,
his wife. Suzanne. He's been with her for like 20 years when he made this episode. And they make coffins into anything you want, in the shape and design of anything you want. So there was a bloke there booking one for his dad. His dad had been a mechanic. And his favourite car, because he was in Ghana, so
the coffins wasn't made in Ghana.
I've got it wrote down now. It was in Ghana.
I thought the coffin was made in America because he flew back somewhere.
Yeah, they were in Ghana and it was being made. Oh my God, psycho.
Oh.
Yeah. There goes Ames Coke.
I've still got...
We need a bigger table. So this man, his dad had been a mechanic. And he said he loved cars and his favourite car was a Lada. Bear in mind, they're like a very old car.
Yeah.
So they had a coffin made into the shape of a Lada. Which if you search for a Lada now on Google or whatever, they're not the nicest looking cars.
People have like planes and boats.
Mm-hmm. There was a coffin in the shape of a wasp. There was a coffin in the shape of a crab. I ain't even joking on this one. There was a car, like another car. There was one who was going into the bloke, the son who was booking the car for his dad. Carl said to him, "So what's your job then? What would you want to be?" He said, "A pen." He said, "A pen?"
Oh yeah.
He said, "A pen." Like he did, I imitated writing. He said, "I'm a teacher, so I like writing."
Yeah.
He said, "So I want to be buried in a pen." So Carl's idea was, okay, I'll have a Twix.
Sort of like your favourite thing.
Yeah. So they designed him a coffin in the shape of a Twix wrapper.
But, however, so you got like a Twix, which is like, 2 fingers, I suppose. There was a place for Suzanne as well, so it's like Carl and Suzanne in this double Twix thing, which is, I really do think, if you think about it, like, excuse me, coffins are quite invasive, aren't they? They're quite, right, the whole thing of a funeral from years, even centuries ago. Like, okay, so you have to go into mourning, wear black, kind of follow a hearse, see the coffin in a hearse in front of you, hymns, you know, burials, cremations. It's very, very intense. And I thought, well, a lot of people say, oh, well, the wake's about a celebration of life. It got me thinking years ago when, like, my nan died and my uncle, who was very much like a dad to me, even though I've got my dad, you know, I was very equal to it. And the torment and pressure that, to me, you just dropped it on me.
Well.
The kind of intensity and the sadness to a traditional funeral is far too much for me. That's why, for myself, my mum and dad as well are having, with a blessing, a direct cremation. A direct cremation, so I will not be having a hearse, cars, people who I don't know up there talking about me, so to speak.
But what design would you have if you could have one?
A funeral.
Coffin, what design would you have?
A bottle of rosé.
Well, I get a bit narrow at the top though. I'm a bit like trying to shove you in.
Well, that's what I'd probably have.
That's be a all round one.
Yeah, and I think like how different people have different things. Like some people will go to the chapel of rest the day before, other people have the loved one in their house the night before, and things like that. Very many different cultures and religions do things in a certain way. I like the idea of on the Ganges. I think that's a really good, very spiritual idea.
Burn you and push you out.
Well, it's on the edge, isn't it? On the edge of the Ganges, and they do it. And I think that's a good idea.
What they do in Ghana after you got your coffin. So that black lady, I forget what her name was now, the one that he got ready with the makeup. The next day at the funeral, they toss her coffin up in the air, about 6 strong blokes, like up all the way up there, like 6 foot up in the air, not like on the show, like proper up there. They walk down the streets, banging away on cans and tins, making as much noise as they can. People dancing and celebrating, singing.
That's what I mean, like a celebration of life.
Rather than over here, it's like, oh God, Pat's dead. We're all really sad.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. People will then go to a wake and have a drink and everything and call it a celebration of life. But to me, the main part about a funeral is the actual act itself. I think they should have a really good celebration at the actual funeral if they're going to do it.
No, I'm in agreement with that. In Taiwan, which is a place in, I don't know whereabouts it is. It might be in Asia, I think, sorry. But in Taiwan, what they do there, you can hire, I ain't joking this one. I mean, it wasn't very appealing, but some blokes might like it at their funeral, for their mates, whatever. You can hire a pole dancer. And there's a van that pulls up outside your funeral home.
I saw this on Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, so that's all I'm getting from is from Carl. I'm not making this up. And there's a lady there. They open the back doors, or like a flatbed lorry. There's a pole.
And she's
away. Woman, she's got clothes on, not undressed or anything, like sort of underwear. And she's dancing around this pole.
Yeah.
But she looks that bored. He's like, she looks like she could be waiting for a bus right now.
Not only that, they have professional mourners in some places. Like
That's the same funeral.
These women go up and they're like, like really. I'm not just saying it's not. You don't even cry like that. These women really exaggerate the whole. You know, really.
But you got to talk whilst you do it because she taught Carl how to do it. She's like, you need to go like you, but like talk. And he's
I'm so upset, kind of thing. I mean,
it was hilarious because he was
that's
there.
That's the worst part about it. If I'm a very, very, very nervous laughter person. And let's face it, there just are them people around that if you see something obscure, you do giggle. I am one of them. If one of them came to my funeral, I'm using my own funeral as an example, and I was looking down from the pearly white gates, and I would laugh my head off. That's why I'm using it as my own example, so I don't offend anybody. But I do think that these things like the coffin be made into something less invasive, and this kind of box like that. And I will never forget, like, following them in a hearse at the back, and there's the coffin. To me, it's their last journey type thing. I don't want that. It's all
very depressing in this country. I'm sorry. If you've lost anyone, especially recently due to COVID or any other reason, then I'm sorry for your loss. But hopefully you're able to celebrate rather than mourn their life at the funeral.
Yeah, a lot of people. My bum's gone a bit crazy. A lot of people they like the traditional side. There's nothing wrong or right in having your own choices. You know, my own choice again is I'm not going to be having one of these funerals, a traditional one anyway.
No.
I'm literally going to have a direct cremation.
We told them that 10
no,
times.
but what about you?
Me, I'd just stick me over there on the seat.
A lot of people say that though, but I do believe the one thing you should do in life, no matter what your age is write down what you want, because a lot of people will say things like, Leigh, ha, shove me in the back garden.
I literally have no preference. As long as it doesn't cost you a penny, then I'm happy to
Yeah,
have
and
one.
like, my mum will not, she's like, you dare spend money on that for, she says, you just dare. I mean, my uncle's funeral was, I can't even begin to say, it was thousands and thousands. What they did for this man's funeral was...
A lot of people pay for it whilst they're alive, don't
They
they?
do.
My mum's done that. So all hers, literally, it's all... She's picked her music and everything. I ain't joking. She's picked a script. She's picked the music.
Yeah.
She's picked out what everyone's got to wear or not allowed to wear, not allowed to wear black.
No.
Where she wants it, where her plot will be, all this stuff. I don't know any of it. All,
We've got to have a party.
it's all in her will, or the solicitor, or whatever it is. And when my mum pops her clogs, which I've hopefully got with for a long time,
Yeah.
they'll open and say, okay, you're off on a cruise, happy days, and you're going to throw her over the side to the sharks.
She definitely wants us to have a party for her. And like Leigh was saying, well, I'm hardly going to feel like having a party. But I think, again, it's obviously personal preference in what you're wanting. My mum and dad are the same. I'm not too sure about my dad, actually, but my mum's like, again, direct cremation. And I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be even as, what do you call it? Ashes. Put in a plot with a plaque on the top in the middle of the creme. I don't want that.
Now, what they do, though, them mourners, like I was saying, you pay them, and if you don't think anyone's going to cry at your funeral, or at your loved one's funeral, this lady comes along. Oh.
No, carry on.
Anyway, so you got the mourners, you pay them, and they come and mourn for you. I wouldn't personally do that. Don't see the point. I'll just say, okay, if you're going to cry, you're going to cry. If you're not, don't worry about it. You know, I ain't got no friends in life. I don't want no friends who have died. So, especially fake people who come along was at a funeral while back, a loved one, or a relative, not a loved one. And everyone's like, oh my God, she was such a nice person. I'm like, no, she wasn't. You're going to be out.
It was, I'll be honest with you, it was when the vicar said something, wasn't it?
Yeah, everyone's like, we're going to miss her so much. Like, where the hell you been for the last 20 years?
Not being rude to people who've gone, but she didn't have, there was a lot of enemies of this woman.
She only, out of everyone there was only about 4 of us who'd seen her in the last 10 years. And yet about 50 people turned up. Oh, we miss her so much. Like, you could have spoken to the last 20 years. You really didn't. You just turned up for a free buffet at the bloody wake. So, yeah, I wouldn't want all that fakeness around my funeral when I go, or cremation, whatever I have. Another thing they do, in another part, where the hell is it now? In the Philippines, I believe it was. They have like crypts. Looks like a big box. But they're out in
Like a tomb, innit?
Yeah, like a tomb. They're out in the middle of the street. They're not like in a graveyard somewhere. And say I bought one for AIM as a birthday present.
Right.
And then AIM passed away a few days later, suspicious circumstances. She accidentally slipped on a banana and fell down the stairs, and I took out a life insurance a couple of days before. I'd get AIM buried in there. After 5 years, we'd dig AIM up, get a bin bag or an empty bloody Dorito bag.
It was.
Yeah, get a bag, strong enough like, compost bag or something, stick her in there, and then your next family member or someone like a friend or someone, if they bought it off you, they get buried in there.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that less of time because it takes longer, doesn't it?
Every 5 years they empty it.
I thought it took long. Some of these coffins you can have like a decomposure, right, like time of over 20 odd years.
Not these ones though.
Like a couple of funerals that I've been to, some coffins are proper, like these things are really well made, like they're very expensive.
For what reason now? Really, when you think about it, what it's going to do, would you go out and spend 20 grand on a car and then fill it with soil and cover it with soil?
I think because the people think it's like the loved one's very last thing they're ever going to have. Like they're very much into giving them
I know, like a good send-off, as they say.
But, on the other hand, if you're somebody like me, like, let's say for Tia, I don't want her spending a penny, even if I've paid for it, I don't want her spending a penny on my funeral. I don't want her having to go through the grief of me being in, like, a coffin and then a hearse and then a church, sitting there kind of being... So, today we lost somebody with, and all that. When I'm not being rude to vicars, of course I'm not, but they don't know me. They're just giving information, aren't they, about that person, and then, they come to their own sort of script, if they will. I know they spend time with the family and all that, but when this man was talking about Leigh's relative, like, some people I'm not going to lie, some people turned around and looked our way and was like, as much to say,
like,
that ain't accurate.
Because it's me nan, basically.
I'd say you've already told them what she was like.
Because she didn't have a lot of hobbies. They said, like, Barbara, my nan, and Frank, like my step-granddad, who passed away a few years back, they was very much in love, but they wasn't. They didn't like each other. She done me Frank's heading. He done her heading. And there's like, Barbara liked a cigarette and her bingo. Well, she didn't just like it. She smoked like 80 fags a day.
Yeah,
it's like, did. Of all the things to say about someone, she liked a cigarette at a funeral.
That's all he kept going. He kept repeating it as well.
Because there's nothing else to say about her.
It was all the time, loved the cigarettes and how much she loved the bingo. Yep. She remortgaged the house for the bingo.
She did.
It was, it's just some of the things that was... The poor man didn't have a clue what to say, did he?
No, poor son.
He didn't have a clue, and obviously that was all he could say, but I suppose that comes to the point where I actually like the thought, if you're going to do it, go out with a bang, like the Garner funeral. Put the lady or yourself in the corner. Look at her as a representation of what she did in life. So, yeah, she had a fruit stall, and she's there, and rather than going to a wake after the person's gone, either been buried or then cremated, do it with them there. I know that seems a bit out there, but I can get why they do that, in all honesty.
If I knew what I was doing, if I was a taxidermist, I got myself a
Now, this is where he gets silly now. I know exactly what's coming.
I will be lost without you when you go, so I'd happily stuff you, if I knew how to do it, and stick you right here. That's where you sit every night when watching TV, right where she's now. I'd plonk her there, open up her hand, put a glass of wine in her hand, maybe like the bottle in the other hand, or the remote for the TV. And I'd pull...
That's what you always have.
I'd give her this face, looks like I've just offended her. Would you like to tell me off? That's my aim. And I'd have her there forever, as long as I could do it properly. I went for a job years ago. I did actually get around to going for it, but I did apply for it.
What?
I can't remember. Bear in mind I was like 17, 18.
Isn't it a funeral director?
It was either working at a funeral home or working in a morgue.
What you told me.
One or the other. I can't remember because it's been that so many years. But I don't even think I got a phone call about it. Because when they said, like, experience, I'd probably put, I've been to one funeral. Something daft like that. I didn't really expect to get the job.
In saying that, I am quite, I want to say, intrigued by death. I'm quite intrigued and a little morbid. I want to, like, my uncle was the same. He went and watched how cremations work. Like, you can have, there's like an open day at the creme where we are, and he went along.
Wow.
And I would like to see the process of it all. Simply because a lot of things to do with death, in my opinion, are avoided. Like, people don't talk about it, even though it's the one and only guarantee you have in your lifetime.
Death, taxis, and birth.
Taxis?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like catching a taxi?
Oh, it's a famous saying, name. The one thing you can guarantee in life is paying your taxes, death, and I think like being born or something like that.
I thought you meant catching like an Uber.
Not everyone catches an Uber in life,
No, we don't. But I can't exactly say the company. But anyway, considering it's the one thing in life you are guaranteed, people are very like, about talking about it. But the thing is, if I had never ever told Leigh what I want for my funeral and my beliefs in things, you'd have probably given me a traditional funeral, because that's just the way it sort of goes, isn't it? Like, you hire your hearses, you choose your hymns, you choose these, and you get in a coffin and that. But if I hadn't said to Leigh, I want sort of like a blessing
Oh, I know what you want.
and that, then it wouldn't have necessarily been the case.
You'd have a water funeral if you could, wouldn't you?
Well, there is one in Stoke, I think, Stoke-on-Trent. I want to be... I don't like the idea of fire. I don't like the idea of being underground.
But you do need to remember, you won't be there to experience it, Bob, unless you believe in like afterlife or whatever.
Yeah, but whether I believe in afterlife or not, you're not going to know at your funeral. But the point is, your spirit goes at the moment you die.
But you're going to know that I then have to go out and probably get a bank loan or remortgage the house.
But either way, there's this. It's called like a Hydra funeral or something, and basically, it's in cold war, but your body basically dissolves. You do get the ashes like you do because your bones are still there. But I just see that as a really unscary way of having a funeral. Because I'm scared of both being trapped and fire. I'm terrified of both. So to me, that's a different way of having a funeral.
Well, the last way that I watched on this program, I'm going to ask him which one would be a preference that the ones we spoke about. So right at the end of the episode, or just before he goes back to England, they're in the Philippines, a different type of way of doing it. And there's like these cliff faces, and they're good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
50 foot up in the air, maybe higher. I don't know. What
the way like he goes upwards.
Yeah, it's like just a big cliff face, and on the front are all these coffins. They're sort of tied to the cliff face, and he says to him, "What the hell do you do that for? Why do you do that?" He says, "Because if we do it any other way, like because there's holes in the cliff, they could have pushed them in. He said, if we do it like that, the dogs will get them after 3 days, and they'll dig up the bodies and eat them."
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. He said, so we tie them to the front, like lengthwise, and at the front of this cliff is just like row upon row of coffins. The bugger was, though, you got to walk up like through like the jungle or whatever.
Yeah, they have to carry the coffin, don't they? Really, like.
And this is before the person's dead. They then climb up on ropes with helmets on, like rock climbers, tie the coffin to the front of the cliff, and then like a year later, 2 years later, because you buy these coffins and get them put on there ready.
Some people don't. Some people had them like up there ready, but other people, there was one, if you remember, that went in with the actual body in the coffin.
I watched it in. He said, and will the body come up here after? He said, yeah, later on, at a later date, we'll carry the body up here on our back, the coffin.
So in saying that, me and Leigh, we do now, there was a funeral director we know, and they said, when a dead body is in a flat, like a block of flats, high-rise flat, they have to... Sometimes, because obviously like the trolley, gurney with we call it, won't fit in, they have to, in the body bag, carry the body vertically down in the lift.
We heard one from the same person, didn't we? Poor sod. Won't say it was, but this funeral director, I had to go and collect the body, broke down on the motorway in the night, on the way back, and was stuck on the side of the motorway until like the early hours of the morning with a dead body in the back of the car.
Honestly, that must have been awful for her. But, in saying, like, to what Leigh said about different ways of bodies...
What would be your preference out of them ones?
I wouldn't want it on a cliff face.
You got cliff face, Twix or whatever you choose
100%.
24 hours beforehand, sat over a glass of wine and we could all come pay our condolences. Or the crypt where you dug out after 5 years and replaced by somebody else.
No, I would personally... If I had to have a coffin in a traditional funeral, then I would want it in a really fun way, like a fun coffin. But my preference probably would be sitting in the corner, like having a wake, so to speak. The funeral being the main part and a celebration, not like a funeral then a wake. I'd rather be in the corner. Hey, are you doing like sort of like that as much to
modern
say?
Tucson's.
Yeah, like to say, well, that was the way I remember AIM in real life. Not mourning over something that isn't there anymore. Because the way I see it, death is torture enough. Why torture yourself even more? But that's just me. That is just my preference with funerals. I think it's extra torture that I would not want Tia or Leigh to go through. So that is my honest way.
That's fair enough.
If you don't believe in afterlife, or you do, you can still have your body blessed by a vicar or a priest or whatever you want to call your, religious person, so to speak. But I think that's the way forward for someone like me. But just like you were saying, like in another video, you said, I want to find, me personally, I think if you really believe in religion, funerals probably wouldn't bother those people in the respect that it's like you're going on to somewhere better. And he was like, wait, so let's have the real, like, you know, form of things. But I'm a very open-minded person. I will never say I believe. I will never say I don't believe. And the only way I'm really going to know is, unfortunately, when Leigh shoots me or something. I don't know.
I don't know what I believe. Oh, that went a bit dark. In terms of funerals and not funerals, so religion. But like I've said in the past, this is my thoughts and feelings. Now, if I was to die tomorrow, these are my thoughts and feelings. Like, don't worry about the funeral, that stuff. But when it comes to it, like if Anne goes before me, I might have a completely different thought and aspect and thought pattern about it.
Yeah, like when my uncle died and he said to my auntie, like, I could see myself there before he was resuscitated. She actually was like, oh, I think I might see about going to church. And there was not religious people.
No, unfortunately, none of us know when we're going to go, do we? That's the question. Would you want to know? If you could go and see, you know, Babs, the fortune teller, said, Babs, tell me when I'm going to die. And she says, 14th of February. Oh, Valentine's, actually, 14th of June, 2022. You know, frick, that's not long off, really, is it, love?
And also,
I better read some books.
To follow on this video, we're going to be doing, giving you some near-death experience stories from members of the public around the world, and also one off like a really, really famous neurosurgeon. So we'll do a video on near-death near-death experiences, because you see, those are the things that make me intrigued about afterlife.
Well, I'm interested. I'll sit there and listen, because I'm not that fussed, but I'll go.
No, I think it'd be good for you as well to hear.
Okay.
Like, there was this really famous neurosurgeon, he was like, no, it's all about the science, I don't believe in it. And now he's got a famous, like, book out and everything, because he had, I don't know whether it was some sort of meningitis or some sort of sepsis. And he went into a coma anyway, and he saw all these magical things. And he said it wasn't nothing to do with toxins and stuff. There was something specific about it. I'll have to do my research, but I think it'd be good to touch base with the other side of things, like near-death experiences and stuff like that.
Could do.
This has been quite an interesting conversation. Guys, please tell us, as a bit morbid a question, but like I said, it doesn't have to be morbid. Tell us what your, it's going to sound crazy, but not, well, yeah, funeral plans are, so to speak. What are your wishes? What do you believe happens after your funeral or afterlife? What do you think? It doesn't have to be religious. It could be religious or non-religious. What do you think about what we've talked about and some of the scenarios that have been spoken about?
Yeah, what would if you could pick one of those ways that I was talking about with Carl Pilkington, which would be your preference? Have we enlightened you to the idea of a twirl coffin? You and your partner? You and your mum, you and your dad. A Kit Kat in general.
You could have a multi-pack.
Yeah.
You could have, you can get 5 for £1.
Well,
you said about, there's a 4-finger Kit Kat.
You could have, like, if you got 4 people, you could have to all be buried at the same time. You could buy it for yourself, your partner, and your brother, your best mates.
What? You could
you
have,
might have a foursome on a weekend and think, let's all be buried together now.
Whatever the case is, if you could choose your own version of a coffin, what would that be and why? Tell us in the comments, please. Any stories you want us to know about this subject, anything at all you want us to talk about, and it will be on the near-death experience video that the comments from this video will be spoken about. So possibly even tomorrow's video will go on to that.
We'll cheer up a bit for tomorrow's video.
No, I'm saying we need to put them out together.
Yeah, that's fine, but they won't get comments within like 24 hours.
No, well, what I'm saying is when you see this, the next video to this will be out tomorrow. I want to do that so it's together. Do you understand what I mean? Like a follow on part 1 and part 2.
Oh, right, okay.
Look, he's like, oh, what? Why? What's the problem? This is your subject.
I thought we could make this like a fun topic on death. Fun. It has been fun. I've enjoyed it.
I think it's fun, but then you've got to be realistic. You've got to think about the fact that death is still pretty damn crap.
Yeah, I need a coffee. Death is pretty crap, guys.
But yeah, but on a lighter note, near-death experiences can be really intriguing and really helpful for people. And that's the lighter side of things. Some of the really crazy stories that I could tell you about near-death experiences that I've read.
Okay.
But part 1 and part 2, do that.
Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching.
What's the matter with that? What? Let's see what they say then.
Okay, we will do that.
Do you want part 2 near-death experiences as this next video? And then they can decide.
Well, if we're recording it tomorrow, they can't, can they? Because they won't have told us in time.
No, but it'll already be recorded.
Anyway, yeah, we'll sort it. Right, guys.
I'm doing that. Right, guys, remember to be kind, remember to be nice, comment, share, like, and subscribe. Unless you don't want to be, go ahead and watch Leigh bloody moaning at me all the bloody time about videos. Yeah, so please check out our other channel, which is a vlog channel called Munchies Delights. Check out our Instagram, which is in the description
Forget
below.
the TikTok bit.
Don't bother. Do look at the community tab, because Leigh's been putting things on there recently, polls, different things that you can decide for us what we want to do. And secondly, turn on your all thing on the notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Because if you don't press all, sometimes you won't be notified when we upload, guys, and that is a real important thing. It'll just come on your YouTube screen when you're scrolling if you don't press all, but that way you will get notified. So, and also, you're watching this on a Saturday, which could mean only one thing. What's that mean, Leigh?
Saturday.
It means the
takeaway.
No, it means, are you coming down the pub?
Oh!
Is he forgetting the local
I'm in
pub?
the pub all the time.
Now look, we are the landlords, so we are in there cleaning up on a weekly basis. But listen, tonight, round about 10:30 p.m, tonight, the pub is open. Are you coming?
Whoop, whoop.
Are you coming for a drink with us or not?
Whoop, whoop.
Come down to the Munchies Arms, that's what we're called.
See you in a bit,
Love you
guys.
loud. Bye, everybody. Get those drinks in.
I'll get mine and don't you all right, love?